Sometimes all it takes is the feel of a familiar shape, the click of a button, or the glow of a small screen to send you right back to childhood. The GB300 isn't just another retro handheld, it's a gateway to nostalgia, packed into a form factor that feels instantly familiar. So, just what is the GB300? It's a compact, retro handheld designed to look and feel like the Game Boy devices many of us grew up with. But unlike the original, this one packs modern emulation, a crisp screen, and a rechargeable battery, all while staying true to that classic handheld vibe. Right away, the form factor hits you. The size, the weight, even the way the D-pad feels under your thumb, it all screams Game Boy nostalgia. The plastic isn't premium, but it's solid enough, and more importantly, it captures that toy turned treasure feeling that devices had back in the day. The screen is really where the GB300 shines, and shine it does, especially at night, and there's no way to turn down that brightness. It's bright, it's clear, and while it's obviously way better than the washed out original Game Boy screens, it still manages to feel like the handhelds it pays homage to. It's a little window into the past, except this time, you don't need a street light to actually see your game. Of course, nostalgia isn't just about the looks, it's about the games. The GB300 runs the Famicom, the PC Engine, the Super Famicom, Mega Drive, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance. For those in the UK, we call the Famicom and Super Famicom the Nintendo Entertainment System, NES, or the Super NES, SNES. For all of these emulations, performance is smooth for the most part, though you'll want to temper expectations. This isn't meant to rival high-end retro handhelds, it's meant to be accessible and fun it is. The Sub Plus operating system is fine for the most part. It runs very similarly to ArcOS, so you'll have to save in the game and then exit the game to the operating system before coming out of it, otherwise it will lose your save data. But that's fine if you're used to it, but if you're coming from not playing emulators before and now coming to this, it does take some getting used to. The menus are basic but functional. Save states, quick load, and simple navigation make it beginner friendly. This is the kind of handheld you can hand a friend who hasn't touched a retro console in years, and within minutes they're playing their childhood favourites again. The speakers are okay, and on the device they work the opposite way you think they should, like scrolling down makes the volume go loud and scrolling up makes the volume go down, and it's never actually always off, at least not on my device. There's still some sound even when you have it all the way off. Other than that, nothing to brag about, but they get the job done. The real magic comes when you plug in headphones. Chiptunes and retro soundtracks just hit differently when they're in your ears, and the GB300 delivers that experience well enough. But here's the real reason I think the GB300 is special. It's the perfect gateway to nostalgia. You don't need to be a hardcore collector, you don't have to hunt down your old cartridges, you just pick it up and suddenly you're back in your bedroom with your blankets covering you, playing with as much light as you can possibly get, telling your mum just one more level. It captures that feeling in a way a phone emulator never can. Now, if you've tried other retro handhelds like the Ambernix, the Powkiddies, the Miyus, or at this kind of price range more like the R36Ss, the GB300 won't blow them out of the water. Actually, it won't even come close. But that's not the point. This isn't about raw specs or perfect emulation. It's about the vibe. And in that department, it nails it. So what are the pros and cons? Well, for the pros, classic form factor. You hold it, you know instantly what kind of games you're going to be playing. The screen's pretty bright. It definitely harkens back to the handhelds of old. maybe more of the Game Boy SP screen, but it's good. Simple menus are really user friendly, and it's one of those devices that you can just hand to someone and not really worry about it. Just give them a few pointers here and there and they're away playing games, having a great time. But what are the cons? Cons are the speaker, backwards facing speaker anyway, not great. The build isn't premium, but actually the feel of it, even if the build isn't premium, it feels great. It feels much better than, like I said before, the R36S. This feels nicer. The buttons don't sound quite as bad, especially late at night, so you're not waking up anybody else in the bedroom. And lastly, the performance isn't there. It only goes up to Game Boy Advance, and really not that well. I had one game crash on me, and I kept on having to double check with other devices whether or not the Game Boy Advance emulation was slower than on other devices like the R36S or my Ambernic RG505. So there you have it, my review of the GB300. It may not be powerful, but I think for the price, especially the price, it is the perfect gateway device to retro handheld emulation. Is it worth it? I say it is, and I really would offer it to anybody else if they wanted to try and get into retro handheld gaming. If you're chasing perfect emulation, this isn't it. It's not perfect. But if you want simple, affordable time machine in your pocket, this is it. For me, it's less about the specs and more about that instant rush of nostalgia every time I pick it up. And in that sense, the GB300 absolutely delivers. If you enjoyed this review, drop a like and let me know in the comments, what was your first Game Boy game? If you want more retro handheld reviews and comparisons, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching.